Holy killer cliffhanger, Batman! Tiki here, and I have just got done watching Batman, the animated series, for the first time. And folks, I think it's high time that I take a larger step into the broader DCEU. Dragon, tell them why we're here.
Well, you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham, in a way. But now, Batman has become part of a bigger universe, and the mission goes on as we enter the greater DCAU.
So, with that, tonight, we're talking about Justice League Secret Origins, parts 1, 2, and 3. Well, Dragon, I gotta say, I'm very surprised. Like, this is the end of, this is the end of Batman. They killed him off at the end of part 2.
Before, he was never like a frequent
gotta say,
member.
I didn't see that coming. I could have sworn that I've seen other Justice League episodes with Batman in them, and, I don't know how we're gonna explain Batman Beyond. Maybe it's Cyber Bruce, who knows? I'm just kidding, of course, but I did think that was rather funny. Of like, all right, DC, who are you trying to kid? You're not going to
if you recall,
first episode.
The first Justice League comic did not feature Batman or Superman, so they are both on the chopping block.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Dragon, I got to admit, looking at it from the Batman side of things, I thought this was just okay. It's pretty standard Justice League fare, I think. It's pretty much what I've come to expect from a Justice League sort of team up. I think all the cards are in the right place for the show. I don't know how much of the show we're actually going to be looking at, so I don't really know what exactly to get invested in beyond just the Batman stuff, which I assume is the primary focus for us. But yeah, you kind of warned me that there wasn't going to be much Batman, and indeed there's not much Batman, but we're basically here to talk about the Batman stuff. Essentially, Dragon, if this was not the first episode of Justice League, this was just like a random episode of Justice League, we would not be covering this for Batcave, right?
Likely not. See, I asked you. So basically, folks, the way we're in kind of like phase 2 of our DCAU Batman coverage right now with the Justice League stuff. Basically that's the odds and ends stuff that we had done up to this point with Static, the crossover with Static Shock and the animated the Jason Todd story, the animated tie-in comic for the Adventures Continue. So yeah, we. Basically, what we're going to do, we decided to do Secret Origins. I asked Tiki if he felt he wanted to do it because it's the first one. We figured, it is the introduction. And Batman, he does have a role in in the Justice League getting their base. So the foundational elements of the Justice League are kind of tied to Batman. So we figured we'd talk about the first one. Also, Serendipity. By the time this goes up, hopefully, assuming everything goes correctly, it'll be the 20th anniversary of the Justice League series and this episode. So it's been 20 years of the day. Just more reasons to cover it.
Yeah, that's kind of trippy how it's like we didn't even really intend for that to happen at all. It just kind of like we lucked into it.
Yeah, but going forward, though, it will be just the Batman-specific or Batman-tailored episodes. And again, the way we're going to break down our Justice League stuff is we're mainly keying in beat by beat towards the Batman stuff. Everything else just we'll talk about it, but just not as intently.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's we're in the new ball game. Batman on a team essentially. So this is new territory for us. New territory for you, I should say.
Very much so. I've seen a couple Justice League episodes, most notably the Christmas one. I'm sure I've seen, of course, a couple of the Jon Stewart ones that we did for Black History Heroes.
Yeah, so...
And then, honestly, that might be about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, for example, we probably won't cover Starcross, but I don't know if I'm going to say never on that one, but we've kind of lumped it in with the Jon Stewart research, so it's not a necessity per se.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let me give you some context on this, and mainly some context on the origins of Justice League, the animated series, as well here, because they kind of get it out of the way, so I don't have to worry about it later. So at this point, they're into Batman Beyond's 3rd season in 2001, and there's a lot of fan demand ever since I imagined the world's finest crossover. during Superman the Animated Series to do the Justice League. Well, now we have Batman and we have Superman, and like by season 3, Superman the Animated Series, they had set up a lot of other DC heroes. Like there was a Green Lantern crossover, there was a Flash crossover, there was an Aquaman crossover. So you can see where the salivating need for the Justice League was coming up. It wasn't coming out of nowhere. It's like, hey, keep teasing these heroes. Are you going to do something with them? Are they going to hang out?
Can I just say that's a way better way to build up the Justice League than just like, hey, they're all here in one movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was so basically they kept putting it off because it was very difficult. You know, they were used to like a hero shows. And okay, you had like Batman has his show and Superman has his show, but we've never done a team show before. And that was just sort of like, you know, they were always like, it's not that they didn't want to do the shows, like, oh god, we have to balance 7 characters. You know how hard that's going to be, and plus they didn't even know they were going to get beyond like 20 minutes when they were thinking like in terms of like how do you do this show. So even then, it was even harder. So you know, season 1, you know, let me put it this way: the networks, they were not hesitant at all to you know, do the show. Like they you know, they did a pilot just in case they needed like a proof of concept, but they made this pilot, which is rather crappy if anyone's ever seen it. The pilot was not great. It was very much like okay, we don't know what the show is yet, but here's generally we're reusing models from those crossovers that we had just to kind of slap some together. But thankfully, you know, the networks were like, oh guys, you made Superman, Batman the Animated Series, of course, and Batman Beyond, the biggest hits on the network. We're gonna prove this, no problem. You don't need to show us anything. You got a season, probably 2 coming. So you know, they pretty much got the stamp of approval right off the bat. But you know, season 1 was very much the you know, let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. It's very much the trial and error season of the show. So that's why things are a little bumpy here and there in the first season, which we're kind of starting in here. Where the 2 most recurring problems, Superman gets taken out very easily along with the Martian Manhunter. Those are the 2 problems. Like every episode, either the Martian Manhunter gets like a psychic blast where he tries to use his power, it's like, ah! Or Superman, all over the first season, gets like electricity takes him out, like, you know, like the flesh of Superman, but without like the cool, you know, that like the full like spectacle. Like, you know, look at him, in the 50s go up against these giant robots and this electrical stuff. It just, you know. Superman gets taken out so we can show like we've raised the stakes. You have really big villains and everything. So there was a lot of that in the first episode in the first season, as you probably notice. And I guess before I get into the director and the writer in the studio, the 3-parters were kind of saved for the, you know, like kind of these 3-parter movie events were kind of saved for the finales of the seasons, and basically our big opener here to kind of get the ball rolling and introduce our 7 characters, so we don't have to worry about it when we go forward with our 2-parters, which, and again, folks, the way we're going to be covering this too is that we're going to cover the 2-parters as one episode because that's how they were made and they were intended to be. So just letting you know that going forward. So this was directed by Dan Reba and Butch Lukic. Dan Reba did like Legends of the Dark Knight from the new Batman Adventures. He did parts 1 and 3. And Butch Lukic did parts 1 and 2. He was the guy behind Chemistry from New Adventures. See, the writer on this was Rich Fogel. He did World's Finest and Old Wounds. Mm-hmm. Rich Fogel's going to be popping up later this month, Tiki. I think, and so it's going to surprise you, but more on that later. The studio worked on this was Coco. You know, we're pretty much kind of ushering away from you know the obviously no more Dong Yangs in the state they were. We have Coco who did Demon Reborn, did Nighttime, did Brightest Day. Basically, did a lot of the crossover work on Superman the Animated Series, which made them tailor-made for, okay, we need someone who can do superhero crossovers. I think we got just the studio. Bob's your uncle. That's I think it's all you need to know right now. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's get into it. And Dragon, like I said, you know, or like you said, we're pretty much going to go beat by beat by the Batman stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what you want to do with the non-Batman stuff. I'll kind of just let you just sort of yada yada through.
Yeah. That's all we'll do is kind of yada yada through.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so part 1. I guess we're just going to isolate kind of like an act here. So part 1. So long story short, 2 astronauts are on Mars. They're looking for water on Mars. One of these guys is J. Allen Carter, who's going to be important later. He finds a rock which unleashes something alien on Mars. 2 years later, the important stuff happens. So, we're at a Wayne Tech satellite facility in Metropolis, and of course, who's going to check in on Wayne Enterprises subsidiaries? It's going to be Batman. Batman's spying on 3 suspicious scientists who are, kind of getting chummy with this one of the co-workers over like this barbecue invite, and he does like the finger gun, which is going to come back later. Yeah. Let's see. So Batman's being the ever-present detective here. He's up in the rafters and he's observing the odd behavior of these scientists, where they're speaking in an alien language, and they're demonstrating super strength as they are grabbing some alien technology behind a wall very easily. They're about to use on a satellite. It's a bomb. We're going to find out.
Yeah, really quick. Can I just say the opening on Mars? I do think it was kind of ballsy for them to just like completely open on a mystery that isn't going to get paid off until like way later in a Justice League show. I don't know. I kind of respect the storytelling chutzpah there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. Tiki, again, Justice League keeps getting better as it goes along. Season 2 is like the primo season of Justice League. That's when, again, once we ruled out like Superman getting taken out left and right, and then we know who the characters are after the first season. We've established the dynamics and everything.
Uh-huh.
So and they get to be more ambitious with like the openings and everything, which they kind of have in season 1. Though season 1 had a lot of the great like eye-catching openings, like, oh my God, there's a talking gorilla in this episode.
Right, yeah.
Like they'll do stuff like that. It's great. All right, so Batman. By the way, Batman's sporting a new design. If you notice, they blended.
It is. I definitely noticed. Yeah.
So they kind of.
I gotta say, I'm not too big of a fan of it.
Really?
It's very, very streamlined.
Yeah, so what they did is that, because they got to remember,
it's fine, Dragon. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't know. I think out of all the DCU incarnations, it's just streamlined. That's my note on it.
Well, yeah, the origin of the streamlined thing is so Batman Beyond had already come out, so this was them reverse engineering. Okay, so if we're going to fill in the gaps between New Adventures and Batman Beyond, perhaps we should visually kind of reflect that. So we're going to make the ears longer, give them some heels, maybe some highlights. I don't like
the long ears. The long ears don't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like, it's kind of distracting in a bad way for me.
Well, you know me. I've always been most attached to the original design, which has the short ears. So clearly,
of course,
if I were to pick. Wait, I mean, I get the logic. I do like the logic, and they brought back like a hair of the animated series. Like we gave them the blue highlights back for just the straight black.
Yeah.
So, it had its good and its bad. Anyway,
I'm sure I'll grow into it. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Plus, again, they do massage things out as they go forward too. Like Superman has like these extra lines on his face they get rid of in the second season.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
They wanted to make him look older because he's been around the DCAU, but then they realized that just makes it's too much. All right. So anyway, so Batman. These guys are about to blow up a satellite, and Batman tries to stop them. Like Batman getting all quippy here. Like I doubt that modification's legal. He bolo wraps them, and you should have stuck to your desk jobs.
Yeah, I do like quippy Batman just to start things out. It's a good kind of change of pace from the animated series, I thought.
And again, does show some.
I mean, the animated series he could get quippy, but I feel like this is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe this is just me reading into it because obviously I haven't seen a lot of the show. But like from what I know of the show, a lot of the appeal of Batman is just him kind of like, standing his guard in kind of like a comedic way against some of the less serious heroes. So you kind of have to have an element of humor with Batman through those sort of scenarios. So I kind of like that right away. We're kind of like, we're making Batman just a little bit more tongue in cheek than maybe he was in the past. Am I reading that right at all?
I mean, kind of. In that Batman definitely, when he's with other heroes, like he has a reputation, as we kind of glean here, where like they know him as like the angsty loner, and that he's
right. But I feel like that expectation is like it's almost like a source of comedy, though.
Yeah, and that he mainly, I think Batman, as you'll see, has a dry wit that really comes across when he's on the team. I think that'll again, this is the dry wit of like, he's very much the straight man of the group, next to Superman, but more, again, more colorful, let's say.
Right, yeah.
So I think that thing, pretty much that comes through, yeah. So let's see. So this woman, she puts up an unusual fight here. We just have this kind of this scientist
I
lady
just
who's
love
like,
these like random lab assistants just being like straight up like super powered.
exactly. So you got to remember too. I mean, a big moment here. I know we haven't quite revealed it yet in our story, but just going to jump ahead here is that they second to Superman technically. This is Batman's first alien encounter. Second to Superman, obviously, but you know, and I guess technically Brainiac, if you want to be all nitpicky, but he wasn't really like, hey, how are you? It wasn't that sort of anyway.
Brainiac and Batman just casually getting coffee together.
I mean, he was like mind controlled by Brainiac, so I don't know what happened during that time, but I don't know how much of a chatty Cathy Brainiac is. So this lady just like tosses Batman like across the beam on top of the satellite, and sees the men are like they morph really thin, so they just like slide right out of the bolos, and you have like the great reaction from Batman, like what? What is going on with these guys?
He's pretty much like the voice of the audience in that moment. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
And this is what I really like about Secret Origins. Part one of Secret Origins, I think, really does pop, namely because it's the most Batman-centric episode of the bunch. But that's just me. But regardless, I like it because it's showing that, you know, Batman being the original touchstone of this universe that we're building. They didn't know they were going to go as far. They didn't know they were ever going to get a Justice League show when they were making Batman the Animated Series. It's the fact that we're using Batman as our eyes in. Okay, we're in a whole new ball game now, folks. We're giving you what you've been wanting for many years. We're gonna usher you in slowly. First with Batman, then with Superman, and then with the rest.
Yeah, it makes sense. I really do like that structure. Like this episode is, you know, with the exception of a couple cameos here and there, it is 90% Batman Superman, which I really like. Yeah.
So let's see, Batman's tossing a batarang just to flex off the lady's head, man, and I think he's. He has this sweet grapple. It's like he's thrown off the beam, or he falls off the beam. He just kind of grapples back onto it. Then Superman. I love this. I love we don't really show Superman in full at first. He plops on down with the head cut off. Like he offers Batman a hand, and Batman's like, "Thanks, but I can handle this." Like Batman again. We set up Batman not a team player to throw out episode.
Yeah, I mean that right there. I feel like that's like a perfect pilot episode. Batman Superman. First interaction, man. It's like a blue meth Batman Superman moment. It's perfect. It completely tells you what these two are all about.
And Superman just saying, they don't look that tough. I love it. I don't know if you got this, but to me, rewatching the episode is like, yeah, Batman's a little ticked off by Superman's presence here, if you notice. Just like this whole, like, he's being really, I think Batman's being
he totally is. He totally is, yeah.
I like that Batman's kind of being polite about it, though, because he has built somewhat of a friendship. Not a deep friendship yet, but he has built like an acquaintanceship and kind of a budding friendship with Superman, where he's not going to like call him out to his face or anything, because Superman's not a help at all during this situation.
Right. He really is.
Because he's like, he has this, so Superman.
And you know what? I actually think that's a pretty good precedent to set for the show, if you think about it, where it's like, okay, like Superman is not going to be like the end all be all like Deus Ex Machina for every situation.
And that's the thing. I like that. And I don't think we don't work out the kinks of that till season 2. But I mean, like, for example, here right off the bat, and just imagine this like pretty much every episode Superman. That's the thing where Superman gets taken out in some way, shape, or form. In this case,
I can totally picture it. Yeah.
So it's not so much that's a problem. It's okay. We need to.
I could just totally picture like as a writer, if I'm under a deadline and I have to figure out what to do with Superman, it's like, yeah, Superman's too powerful, man. We got to weaken him somehow, you know.
We gotta. The three characters you always have to worry about. You have Superman, the Flash, and the Martian Manhunter. Those are always the three. And the Martian Man are always, no matter what, the Martian Manhunter always got the raw end of the deal. And I felt so bad because he's such a cool character, as you kind of see in the episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Batman saves Superman as he kind of has this psychic vision attack, this kind of psychic episode, which I like.
These psychic attacks are like they are filmed in like a visceral way, man. You really feel the impact of them whenever they happen.
I like the expressionistic kind of look to them, like the spatter patterns, and like it looks really kind of trippy. And basically,
yeah.
So Batman saves Superman, which then gives them time to detonate the bomb. Let's see. So then we have like on the ground as Batman's kind of coming to here, and Superman. They kind of, you see these three mangled scientists then fix themselves. Then like the older scientist gives like Batman like the finger going, oh,
I love that. I don't know, for some reason that just really that just really kind of tickled my funny bone.
I know. I thought you might like that. So, by the way, we have a new Superman at this point in time. This is not Tim Daly.
It's not Tim Daly? No!
I'm surprised you didn't pick up on it. Yeah, this is not Tim Daly. So this is, so at this point, I think Tim Daly, I don't know if he had wings yet or not. I don't know if this is the point being, Tim Daly, he didn't come back, and they got George Newbern, who was also good. And the cool thing about George Newbern, the reason, a lot of people never sing the praises of George Newbern, because Tim Daly was so perfect as Superman. That's why.
Tim Daly. It's just a hard act to follow. Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about George Newbern. I wonder if you'll grow to see it this way.
Okay.
We'll see. Is that George Newbern, and you can kind of tell visually this is what they're going for. I think vocally, I think it came across a lot better, and I think they saw that by that way too by season 2. Is that George Newbern sounds like an older version of Tim Daly.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's the thing. This is a Superman who's been through all of Superman the animated series, which I know I think it's been a while for you for that, but it's Superman. Things ended terribly for not that the finale was terrible, just that bad stuff happened to Superman at the end of his show. So he had a lot to work back from. So Superman's been through a lot. And he's still keeping a chipper attitude about it. So you have a little bit of that. This is a guy who's been around. He's kind of been trying to work the people's trust back, which obviously this plot line, this episode is him trying to make a big dent in that. So just, George Newbern, I think he's good. He plays Superman who's really put through his paces, because this is where we get into like a lot of the big moral things of like Superman being really tested by Luthor, and a lot of really big threats are like, going to Superman through Justice League. All of Superman's greatest trials are in Justice League. Anyway, so Superman's not sure what went wrong with the whole psychic episode thing. He gives Batman a signal watch if he needs more help. If you need any more help, I just love the time we take on this to communicate. Batman's so ticked off right now, where it's like, yeah, if I need more of your help, yeah. So he just says, right. And so again, just Batman's already skeptical of this team up idea, which again, seeing how well Superman helped out during this scene with, I just got my facility blown up. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and again, I like how naturally it kind of just starts out, because it's like, of course, we already have the Batman Superman thing established, so like, the building blocks to Justice League very slowly are just going to be like, like the working relationship that these two have. It's a very smart way to start out. Okay,
so just the yada yada over kind of our plot here. So
yada. Go ahead.
Okay, so the astronaut from earlier, Senator Carter, he's now senator.
My son, the astronaut.
It's funny. He shows up. He shows up later in this. Well, not this episode, but down
character.
Well, J.K. Simmons as.
Oh, J.K. Simmons does. Okay, nice.
Not in this episode, but I'm pretty sure.
Say, like, not John Jameson the Man Wolf, right?
No.
That'd be weird.
No, but J.K. Simmons is a character pretty much designed after J.K. Simmons will pop up at some point in Justice League Unlimited, more so. So you'll see him down the line. All right, anyway, so. The Senator Carter has called a UN meeting, basically proposing Superman 4. Basically, let's use Superman as our nuclear deterrent here. He can defuse all the.
Like, to be fair, I don't think Superman 4, the nuclear thing, was like necessarily a bad idea. I just think it was terribly executed.
No, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. I think here we did a more successful version of that plot line. It seems, where again, also there's a consequence to where we've disarmed all of our nuclear weapons that we can't use later when we need them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And again, this is all that we kind of draw reference to it here. Superman's been trying to work the people's trust, trying to regain the people's trust after he was mind control at the end of season 3, and he did bad stuff to Metropolis. That's basically what he kind of calls out here, and this is him making amends. He's going to uphold truth and justice, and not just for America, but for the world. Which, Tiki, I don't know if you've heard about any of this right now. People are up in arms about Superman changing the saying and everything because of the whole American way thing. So it's a whole. So I'm just saying this, it's so funny that going on now than going back to this world. This is a nice way to massage that. Like, just got America, but the world. And that was a nice way of phrasing it.
I mean, is that really such a bad thing that you care about more people than just your own country? Whatever.
Look, I'm
politics. Yay.
Yeah. I'm just saying ridiculously. People are. Yeah, anyway, right now, a lot of stuff's happening with Superman right now. People are going crazy about it. Anyway,
so, all right. I don't even want to know.
All right, so. Snapper Carr, who was like the kind of the Jimmy Olsen for the Justice
Yeah, I
League.
kind of picked up on that. Yeah. I like his presence throughout the episode. I really kind of dug that he had sort of like his own plot line while still sort of being Mr. Exposition at the same time.
Yeah. So basically he kind of summarizes the 6 months have gone by. Superman, they were seeing the public, Superman rocks, and the Flash is the Flash is skeptical of like, hey, look, I'm the fastest man alive. I can't be 5 places at once. I don't know how I can do it alone. So, Superman continues to have the visions. Meanwhile, Batman is tracking the trio to an abandoned Star Labs building. I don't know if it's the Star Labs building from Superman the Animated Series after it got trashed or not. That'd be interesting to double check. I gotta be honest. But so in this abandoned Star Labs building, we basically have an invasion of the Body Snatchers reveal.
Yep.
Basically, all the original scientists are kept in these weird kind of Martian-y cocoons.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy, Dragon. I gotta say, it's pretty disturbing, right? Like right from the get up, kind of has like a Matrix vibe to it almost.
And again, I really like that we kind of found a way to legitimize Batman in the 50s, where Batman in the 50s had all the alien encounters. So we've done a serious version of it here, where Batman's in the middle, like like the animated series version. That would be a grounded B movie, like a 50s B movie, which is really cool. So. Anyway, so Batman, he's attacked by an alien dog, which we then reveal, oh god, these things are absolutely alien if it were beyond doubt.
So this is like a way better superhero versus dog fight than Hulk.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'll give it that much. No, seriously, I do really like the design of these dogs.
Yeah, it's the moment when Batman's like really, the agility on Batman is great. It's just like he's flipping around away from this thing, but then it climbs up the wall. Creepy. All right, so Batman's in trouble. He uses the signal watch. Superman finds Batman. As he finds a Batman, like shelving crashed on him. A giant meteor crashes in the heart of Metropolis.
Oh God!
Here's a great bit. Oh God! See, this is the wonderful thing about Justice League, Tiki. Justice League is rife with epic Batman moments. So Batman's dropped at this medic, at this EMT, check on him. Superman goes to deal with the meteor, and the paramedic is tempted. She's about to remove the mask, and Batman comes to and he stops her.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it. And she's terrified.
Yeah.
It's like this is why we're covering Justice League, Tiki, for moments like that.
Yeah, for sure. We're literally just like we're panning for gold, Dragon. We're panning the streaming services for gold.
Yep. So then we have War of the Worlds homage. That's pretty much what these aliens are like the Imperium invaders. I think the invaders.
Yeah, I definitely they definitely had like a tripod quality to them for sure. Yeah.
And we do call one of the generals is General Wells. So there's obviously H.G. Wells. There are a lot of references there. So as Superman,
the H.G. Wells Orson Welles thing is kind of trippy.
Yeah. I know. Great. So, as Superman's getting attacked, Batman comes to and he assists him in the Bat plane, not the Bat wing, because it's much cooler. It's the Bat plane. That redesign, I'm not crazy about.
The Bat wing is much like the jet, right?
Yeah, it's the jet. Yeah, it's just the Bat.
Yeah, jets are always cooler than planes.
No, I'm sorry. The Bat wing's like a giant flying saucer. That's what the Bat wing.
Oh, okay.
It's like has like it literally looks like the giant bat symbol. It's awesome. Anyway. So more walkers emerge, like more meteors are crashing. They're coming out of it. Let's see, Superman. Mid-battle, basically mid-battle, Superman flies off because he had that vision that finally came through, and Batman follows him. And we learn the attacks have gone global, getting the attention of Wonder Woman and Hippolyta on Themyscira. It's like, oh man, man's world's in trouble. Yeah, it's gonna come back later. So. Back to the Batman thing, but honestly, the best part of the whole crossover for me. This is an important scene. So Batman finds Superman breaking into a government base, which I think Batman's a little worried after Superman got mind controlled in season 3. Like, oh god, he's been getting these psychic attacks.
Yeah, now sure. There's a little bit of moral ambiguity there.
Yeah, so destroying government property isn't your style, Superman. So we reveal that the visions Superman was having were actually distress calls coming through basically a stasis field, and finally, like there was like a gap in the stasis field, so finally he gathered enough of the message to know it was a cry for help and where it was coming from. So Superman, he saves a Martian, not just any Martian, John Jones, the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, and so I feel like this is a really solid kind of like ending point for the first part because the team hasn't fully formed yet, but we're kind of putting the pieces together. We, put Wonder Woman on the board at the end of the episode, as well as Martian Manhunter. He's connected with Batman and Superman, so yeah, overall it's a pretty good first installment, and that's about the most Batman we're gonna get, Dragon.
Well, still, I got to talk about like the Batman interaction though.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is literally like the whole reason we're talking about the episode. This is like...
Sure.
Okay, so Tiki, I've always loved this for Justice League Origin. Personally, I've always loved the idea of Martian Manhunter being introduced as a plot point in the story, which is why I was so let down by him just being dropped in the Snyder cut.
Yeah, just literally dropped in like, "Hey kids, look what you could have gotten."
Yeah, this guy was a Martian apparently. So this is what I'm saying. I love the idea. Obviously, I've told you this many times. I've always wanted to do like Starro, and the way you do Starro is you have a psychic character talk to Starro, which could be the Martian Manhunter. So I just thought, but again, the idea stemming from this episode of like, yeah, the Martian Manhunter is a great character. One, he's voiced by the wonderful Carl Lumbly, who now the kids know as Isaiah Bradley from Falcon Winter Soldier.
Sure.
And, he's great, and I've always loved the dynamic between the Martian Manhunter and Batman and Superman because he is kind of a combination of those two characters to an extent. He's lost his family. He's the last of his kind. He's an alien. It's kind of like there's a stoic quality to him. He's always felt, and I always felt it was so perfectly appropriate that both Batman and Superman, these titans, these icons, these kind of reflections of each other, were the ones to save him and basically forge the Justice League with this character. I always loved that idea.
Yeah, there's a lot to latch onto there emotionally, for sure.
The moment that, again, there aren't a whole lot of interactions, but the interactions that there are in the show are really meaningful when the Martian Manhunter interacts with Batman. Again, this is Batman's first true alien encounter, second to Superman here, where he says... Batman's a little weirded out by the fact that there's a Martian here, and then the Martian Manhunter, like he transforms himself to look like a superhero to make Batman more comfortable. Like looking at the costumes, like okay, maybe this will make him more comfortable. And then he extends his hand in friendship to greet him, and Superman interjects with, "Don't take it personally, Jean. He doesn't trust anybody. That is a wise policy." And I just love the respect that the Martian Manhunter had for Batman in that moment. It's like. This guy's not. This is a smart guy. He's right not to trust me. He doesn't know anything about me. I can get behind this guy.
Sure.
All right, so they help him out of the facility, and then they're surrounded by what seems to be the military, and Superman's vouching for him, like, no, guys, look, the security of the world at stake. That's why we're not going to let you leave alive. And then, of course, we reveal they're all in the Imperium invaders. Ooh. And that's the base of the meat and potatoes of our conversation. Now we're just going to kind of latch on the things going in the
pretty much.
Okay, so now I'm going to get your reaction to the takes on these characters, just broadly, Tiki. So, so top of part 2, we get the Wonder Woman origin. So how do you feel about Wonder Woman in general with this first glimpse?
I mean, I really like Wonder Woman in the DCU from what I've seen of her. I think she's I don't know. I like the fact that she's stoic, but she's not quite as stoic as like the the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. I feel like she's kind of like a best of both worlds of like, having a lot of heroic qualities to her while still kind of having a little bit more of a personality.
Yeah, so that's the fun thing too. So Secret Origins, I mean, it gives us kind of everyone else, and I think this is the way you should do the Justice League. Again, like if you were ever to do a movie. Obviously you want maybe like some foundation with a Batman and Superman beforehand, like we kind of got. The third movie, my opinion, I think we should establish that, okay, the heroes of this world exist and they are known entities that either Batman or Superman have met or heard of, which essentially is what the DCAU kind of did with Superman, that he has met the majority of the Justice League already, or at least Superman knows the Green Lanterns, he's met the Flash. Batman, he gets around. He knows things. He's heard about Hawkgirl. He's heard about reports of Hawkgirl and stuff. So these would be characters who were in the know. And our new entities, like the ones we could introduce, okay, Wonder Woman would not be a known entity. She's been held up on an island for many years. So, okay, this is her going from Themyscira to help out in the time of crisis. That's not bad. And the Martian Manhunter, he's our connecting plot line. So, those are very solid. Again, they balanced the way of doing origin stories without doing an origin story for everyone. It's like, trust that the audience is going to be able to get up to speed fast. Like, this character's cool. I think this is all we really need to know about him. The Flash is fast. Green Lantern has the ring.
I mean, Flash, it's just like, you really don't need anything with Flash. It's like, I feel like he's a character where it's like, you pretty much know what he's about. I mean, it's like, I'm sure there's stuff with Barry Allen as a character that they explore throughout the show, but, just as a baseline, as a team member, he's pretty much just like, he zooms in, he does the quips, he's the speedster. That's really all you need to know,
That's the thing, like, season 1, with the the Flash did not really get this treatment, but Flash is just, he's purely like an ensemble player, in that you love Michael Rosenbaum playing the Flash, and he's really entertaining, and he's going around doing his thing, and he's the funny guy of the team. That's his shtick.
Mm-hmm.
And but by the same token, many of the other characters during the season, they'll get episodes that kind of flesh out for anyone who's like wondering. Okay, so we have a Wonder Woman episode, a few episodes that we're not going to cover, but just there's a Wonder Woman episode that kind of fleshes out. Okay, so here's her stories, maybe a little bit more in full when they have to help out the audience. Sure. That's kind of, and then Jon Stewart, similarly, an episode you saw when we did the Black History Heroes, that sort of thing. All right, so again, so Wonder Woman, we get her origin. She steals the costume, goes to help out. Superman takes kind of a beating because, again, season 1, unfortunately. Let's see, Batman. It's a great moment here where he tells John to get down. He tosses an exploding batarang, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, John Jones saves Batman by phasing through him, which is, again, it must freak out Batman just a little bit. When he does that, let's see, we have a dog fight with some starships, some spaceships, I should say. Let's see, the Batman's bat plane gets a wing fired off of it, but he is then saved by the Green Lantern. Not just any Green Lantern, John Stewart Green Lantern.
And Hawkgirl as well.
Yes, and Hawkgirl. So fun fact, so Hawkgirl, again, when you think the Justice League, traditionally, you do not think Hawkgirl. That was a big innovation that this show had, where Hawkgirl was...
I feel like Hawkgirl was definitely the, kind of like the wild card pick of the lineup, for sure.
Yeah, it was made because Bruce Timm, one of the first comics he ever got was a Hawkman comic that featured both Hawkman and Hawkgirl on the cover, and he loved Hawkgirl. So that's why she's in the show, to kind of diversify, kind of the line.
I mean, first of all, it's always good to have, more than one woman character on a superhero team. Like, that's never a bad thing. And I really like how her and Wonder Woman's personalities are pretty divergent from each other. Essentially, like, this is probably not the best comparison, but she's pretty much like the Thor of the team as far as, like, brute strength and humor goes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's maybe a little more intense Thor, but yeah, pretty much Thor. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean, to an extent,
from what I've seen, I really like Hawkgirl. Of course, we did a whole deep dive on Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. I think he's a very, very good character when he gets focused on.
Yeah, of course, and also the whole Hawkgirl and Green Lantern relationship, which they knew from the beginning, by the way. Like, they knew that whole story was going to play out, so that's why they kind of seeded a little bit of that, here and there, and then it goes into full overdrive in season 2, like when they're dating and stuff. So, okay, let's see. So again, today, after they help Batman out here, and like the Flash finds the wing. This is a great bit where the Flash just like gives Batman like the wing of the ship, and because he's then distracted by the pretty Amazon, like. Oh, where have you been all my life? Themyscira? Wait, what? All right, let's see. So then, the Martian Manhunter, we get some exposition about his backstory, which is it's kind of a.
We can pretty much just yada over this, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So,
it's good backstory, but it has nothing to do with Batman.
That's true. I mean, look, the important thing. So, John Jones, he's he was on Mars. Mars was like a peaceful, kind of a prosperous place, and then these invaders came. Here's the important thing I do need to tell you about, though. So this should be the White Martians. They are technically not, which is annoying. So the bad guys, the Martian Manhunter's whole thing is that they have different colors of Martian races on his planet. You had the White Martians, you had the Green Martians. The White Martians were kind of more aggressive, and they caused the extinction, the war, and all that sort of stuff. They were bad guys. And I believe because they needed the kind of the War of the Worlds solution, like sunlight's going to kill them. They needed, that's why they couldn't make the White Martians, which is it just annoys me to no end. Like, why could they shapeshift in everything? We couldn't call them White Martians. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so close. It's so simple. And then Young Justice years later did it a whole lot more ambitiously and maybe better. So.
All right.
Okay, so point being, a war broke out, and basically John Jones became the last of the Martians as they mounted like this attack with nerve gas to pacify him. And they were basically submerged and cordoned off, and he guarded them until the astronauts from 2 years ago came by and unleashed them. And he came to Earth to warn them and provide the nerve gas that could stop him again. But he was captured unceremoniously by the government, and held prisoner, and that's why we're in the position we're in right now. So that's not good.
Yeah, so I do really like the connection that Superman and John Jones have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we already kind of like explored that in the Christmas episode, but it's great. It kind of starts here where Superman, it's like if there's anyone who knows how it feels to have like a whole race of people, a whole planet of people. It's like it's Princess Leia and it's Superman.
Pretty much.
It's a very exclusive club.
Oh yeah. All right. So let's see. So okay. So again, the big plot point that we learned from this story is that these guys are nocturnalists, and they're trying to terraform the planet, kind of like Man of Steel, and basically block out the sun in this case. We block out the sun. We don't have to worry. We'll never have to worry about the sun again. The gang splits up, and the teams, of course, you have this great gag where the Flash dibs on the Amazon and gets stuck with John Stewart, which is we have Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and then we have Superman and Hawkgirl. Of course, the gag with Superman and Hawkgirl.
I think that's some solid team ups right there. I gotta say.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely co-sign it because Flash and Green Lantern become a buddy comedy duo as it kind of goes on.
Yeah, so totally.
And also, here's a thing.
I like Superman and Hawkgirl because they're kind of like, they're the two most powerful characters on the team, but they kind of come at it from different angles.
Yeah, and obviously we see that Hawkgirl a little more brash and aggressive than Superman.
Right, yeah.
As impressed. Of course, we set Thanagar as a very...
thing I'm looking forward to with this show, Dragon. I mean, obviously, I know we're just mostly covering the Batman stuff, but I do like the idea of these shows where it's like you have like interesting combinations of characters that you're kind of playing around with.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And so something big we should, speaking of the character dynamics, there's one big one in relation to Batman we should talk about.
Wonder Woman?
Yes. So we begin the next big relationship for Batman.
Yeah, I was definitely kind of like tracking that in the background, and I like how subtle it is, Dragon. Like, we don't get any sort of big, over-the-top, like, star-crossed lovers moment or anything like that. We can tell that there's, like, a little bit of a mutual respect for each other, but that's really about it, It's like, they don't really dive into, like, sexual tension at all, and I kind of respected that.
Yeah, and we have like I love that they have kind of a different kind of ways of operating. Where Batman's about stealth and like waiting, like finding the weakness of the enemy. Where Wonder Woman's about the Amazon way, which is like I have strength, man. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take charge, take action. Kick some butt and take names. Mm-hmm. And I love this. Like Batman just holds Jean off. Like, let's see what she can do. And then once she takes out like the walkers and everything, like not bad.
Yeah.
She impressed the Batman. That's no small feat. So let's see. So, and again, one of the honestly, next to Talia al Ghul, possibly the best relationship in the DCAU for my money. I love the shipping name is Wonder Bats. I love Wonder Bats, man. I'm a big fan. I love it. I do love me some Wonder Bats. It's good stuff. So, so the seeds are planted there. Let's see. So, okay. So Batman, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter, they're on the inside. They find the central core, which essentially is the power source for all the terraforming stuff.
And here's one thing I really respect about this episode is that the threat just literally just keeps getting progressively bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, again, that's the thing, is you see how dire the situation's getting it too, especially by the third part too. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh god, it's like it's the end times. We're starting the series off with the end times, and imagine,
right.
As the show goes forward, the stakes are going to get larger and bigger, but progressively. It's not like doubling back.
So basically, the first dilemma that they face is that the villains literally want to block out the sun.
Pretty much. Yep, and also basically the pod people thing. They're going to replace everybody too, I imagine.
Oh, right, yeah. So yeah,
I don't know if they have to do that, but
pretty high.
I assume they're going to do that. But they don't necessarily have to. But why not? While they're at it. That's what they did with the Martians, so I imagine they're going to do that to everyone on Earth. All right, so they find the central core powers this thing. Batman causes a little diversion with the Batarang. They steal the core matrix. They have this great bit, of course. This is going to be a runner through Justice League, one of my favorite runners. Batman making the sacrificial play for the betterment of mankind as well as his teammates here, where John's down yet again. And he tells Wonder Woman to get John out of here now. So Batman grabs the core. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it, and then we have the big fake out here where he's shot behind the door. It seems, and it's like, oh my God, it's not even running on episode 3 yet, and we killed Batman.
I'm sorry, Dragon. I had to laugh at this a little bit just because it's like, did anyone buy this for a second?
Of course not, because we have, and there's things, not just like we then get Batman Beyond after Justice League. No, we had Batman Beyond before Justice League. We know for
exactly.
He's gonna be okay. So it's like I would joke.
Wouldn't it have been a ballsy twist if they just revealed that the Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond was a fucking robot the whole time?
Well, it's funny you say that. No, I'm kidding. But the fact though is the comic book characters always die and then come back to life. So it's not beyond their own possibility that we killed him off and then we brought him back at some point.
Right.
If you really want to. Pull some tree, but no, obviously, we can't kill up. But I just love the idea, like, Batman Beyond lied to me. He's definitely dead. Not that anyone's gonna buy that, but But no, seriously, it's like Wonder Woman earns a lot of respect for Batman. Oh my God, he made the sacrificial play and he died like a warrior. Oh my God.
Right, yeah.
That brings us to part 3, which again is even more yada yada, if I'm being frank. So Batman's been, in quotes, killed off.
I mean, the one good thing I have about part 3 is that, like we said, the stakes are significantly raised. It's like, I like how part 2, we have the pod kind of coming out of the ground, and it's like, oh my God, this is really big. And then it's like, no, it's like we get the stakes even raised further than that. We've got like the fucking ship that's like 10 times as big as the pod.
We killed Batman.
Right. Okay.
God. Okay, so let's see. So the Imperium mothership is inbound at this point. Everyone's response very much is the end is here. We have
let's steal some shit.
Yeah. Of course, I love when our heroes save people. Green Lantern saving some trapped kids, kind of Hercules style. Love it.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Wonder Woman again. She, she relays the bad news about Batman and how Superman Hawkgirl have been captured as well, which was another thing that happened in episode 2. So let's see. Of course, he was a true warrior till the end. Let's see. So now it's up to Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter to assault. Basically,
but I do like that it is kind of like the newer characters here. I do like that. I mean, it's not great for our purposes right now with the Batman of it all, but I do think that it's neat that it's like, all right, like these newish members have to prove themselves to save the old guard, essentially.
Certainly, and of course, they don't do this throughout. I think they abandoned this really quickly because it didn't really play super well. Like Green Lantern, he kind of chastises Wonder Woman for being a rookie, which they kind of do in that first season. So it's kind of, they are very much the new blood of the team unequivocally, especially Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman. They literally saw their origin stories unfold, and this is a different Green Lantern. And Flash is the only one we've kind of seen before, but not like Michael Rosenbaum Flash.
Right.
By the way, just I threw his name out there a couple times. I love Michael Rosenbaum, particularly his voice work as the Flash. It's so good and so fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they mount an assault against the Imperium. Basically, they break into the place. Martian Manhunter creeps Flash out at first, which is great. It's a great arc there for the Flash. Like he'll eventually be buddy with the Martian Manhunter, but at first, very freaked out by him. Like, oh god, he's phasing through people and knocking them out like the Vision. It's creepy. So basically, it's a trap. They all get trapped. Really creepy trap, and they all have the red eyes when they open up.
Flash's big plan is to throw a rock at it, and it actually works.
Yes, it does. Oh god! So then we reveal the leader, the Imperium leader here, who is quite horrifying. He was just this is something quite horrifying to poor John Jones here. This is the guy who killed off his whole race, by the way. This is the guy like this is the Joe Chill from the Martian Manhunter. For the purposes of the DCAU. This is the guy who basically is saying, "Oh yes, the last Martian. I can't wait to finish the job." And he's just like this big, trippy, amorphic kind of. He's like a giant. It's like a giant portal of some kind. It's kind of hard to describe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically, what happens is the Martian he tries to overtake the Martian Manhunter, and he does this creepy thing where like the tentacles of this giant mass get under his skin. Like this is like Dune level stuff, right? I mean, you could tell me. Is it Dune?
A little bit, yeah.
So it's just like it crawls under his skin and everything. And it's like, oh, it's so icky. And he's just being tortured. Like, oh, but poor Jean. But as we reveal, John Jones, quite clever. He he anticipated this, and he had Batman as his trump card. He kind of hit up his sleeve here, where it's like, hey, reveal Batman was the ace up the sleeve. He masked his death, so basically he could infiltrate the place and reverse the ions and save the day.
Yeah.
I will admit though, with the whole mind meld thing going on, makes me miss Starro. But Tiki, I'm going to tease you with this. We did not do Starro in the first Justice League episode, but there is a reason. And that's not to say Starro will not pop up elsewhere.
I don't doubt it.
All I'm going to say there. Also, big reveal: J. Allen Carter, the astronaut, was the like an Imperium the whole time.
Yes, that is a big reveal indeed.
And I love that. This is a really good plotting thing, though, TK. I love that he used Superman with the whole Superman 4 plot to weaken Earth's defenses. So that was really clever. All right, anyway, so Batman, he has this ion reversing device, this ion charge reversing device that he implants in one of like the little pod things, and basically reverses the charges. So now the terraforming stops in the sunlight. Here comes the sun, baby! It's pouring in, and it's melting these suckers. Wonder Woman, again, little Wonder Bats here. Wonder Woman impressed that Batman found the weakness, that he actually had some merit to what he was saying, and he frees.
Like I said, with the Wonder Woman Batman stuff, it's no more than just Wonder Woman and Batman kind of like having a mutual respect for each other, and I really like that.
And she's like deflecting like a blast from his head, it's there. It's very practical right now. I like it.
Right.
All right, so the Justice League take down the ship. They're kind of learning that they work well together as a team, and we have Flash, Superman, Green Lantern saving people, which I'm all for, and then Snapper Carr rounds things out, and then we have our big back to the Batman stuff here. General Wells is on the monitor, voicing his concerns over. Well, I mean, with the arsenal disarmed, I'm worried what we're going to do with the next invasion that we face. Like, what do we do? We have another big threat like this. And Batman's in the Batcave stewing on this point. Yeah. Wells might have a point.
Yeah.
So again, just showing how this experience has kind of shaped Batman. Batman being the evolving character here. It's like, you know what? Maybe Superman's right. Maybe we should work together a little bit more. At least have a place to go when something like this happens. So then we reveal the Watchtower, which a lot of people going into the show, they're expecting the Hall of Justice. But if you really think about it, would we sanction just like a big clubhouse for the Justice League in the heart of some
I
city
honestly
somewhere?
like this a lot more than just like a traditional Hall of Justice. I think it's really cool.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. The Watchtower is always like one of the coolest things.
I mean, first of all, I just dig the iconography of like a spaceship that's like vaguely shaped like a watchtower, and then just the fact that like they're literally looking over all of Earth. I don't know. There's just something symbolic in that.
There was something again. Obviously, this is where a lot of people, when the Avengers came out, a lot of them pointed to the DCAU as like the main point of comparison for how you do like the team story, because it was done so well in the DCAU, and many people loved a lot of comparisons there. So something that does occur to me is, hey, the way the Avengers had basically set up at the end of their movie that we're going to come together, when the world needs us, when we have like a big threat that requires all of us. The Justice League kind of visualized it a lot better. We're like, hey, we have a place that's going to monitor those threats, so we'll know in real time when that happens. So basically, what if Avengers Tower was in space? So then that's how we'll know when something huge happens. We'll be able to teleport to it instantly. So Superman questions. Bruce, do Your stockholders know. Do your stockholders know about this? The line item hidden in the aerospace R&D budget. Batman crossing the I's and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Okay, so basically Batman's saying this is going to serve as an early warning system against any threats, kind of like the invaders. Flash is thrilled about the ice mochas in the commissary. Let's see. So Superman wants to stay together. Basically, he makes a sales pitch to the team here, guys. Like we should stay together as a team. We worked really well together. We can protect the planet and again preserve the ideals of peace and justice. Again, getting justice in there. And then he pitches a name. The name he pitches is not Super Friends. That's what the Flash pitches. God, can you imagine? It'd be crazy if they actually went with the Super Friends. It'd be so. We're gonna make the Super Friends the coolest show ever. We're gonna redeem it. That didn't happen. So anyway, so we call it. Superman says, "Yeah, maybe not Super Friends. Maybe more of a Justice League, an all-Americana baseball on them." All right, so let's see. So everyone's Superman's a little. Flash is like, "Well, that sounds a little corny, but I'm in." They're all putting their hands in. Batman, of course, is a part-timer. Like, he'll be there when you need my help, and you will. I'll be there. So everyone's basically, we're all signed up to, kind of, basically the show is kind of born here. And then we have like a really nice poignant moment to end things out on where Superman goes to John Jones, who now is just basically saying like, well, I've lost all of my kind. I've lost my home. I'm alone in the universe. And then Superman makes like this beautiful sales pitch to his fellow kind of orphanee. Where it's like, John, we can never replace the family that you lost, but we'd be honored if you could call the Earth your home. Which, I mean, if it doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, I don't know what really
will. Like I said, it's like we're not going to go through the whole series, but from what I've seen, Martian Manhunter seems like a character where it's like, he doesn't get a lot of moments to shine, but he really is kind of like thematically one of the big sort of center stones of the league, just as far as like what brings them together, as far from an ideological point of view.
Yeah, for sure. And again, kind of a guy judging kind of humanity, case by case with like, the kind of the event of the week, so to speak. He's really good. He's a good eyes-in character in that regard.
Right. Well, Dragon, just to round out final thoughts here, I mean, obviously this is not like the biggest Batman episode. I mean, it's a Batman episode. It's fine. It's, it's solid. We get, a couple good interactions. We get a solid death fake out with him, which is always cool. Theatricality and whatnot from Batman.
Theatricality and deception.
Exactly. But I'm definitely looking forward to moving onto more deep cut Justice League stuff because I think it's a really good team, and I'm excited to see how Batman interacts more with like the individual members as we go into episodes. So. Oh yeah.
Yep. Right. Again, final thoughts for me. Very simply, again, I live for Batman meeting the Martian Manhunter. That's the big thing I love about Secret Origins, but. Going back to it though, it's kind of nice to see the passing of the torch just kind of happen naturally in the plotting with the whole, like Batman and Superman kind of are the welcome wagon to the Martian Manhunter and how we're being really smart with how we're balancing 7 characters and a really impressive feat that's going to get even more impressive. But again, season 1, there's going to be some trials, going to be some error, but I think we're going to get to some of the highlights of season 1, honestly, with the Batman episodes because again they're. Again, some of the great Batman moments all throughout Justice League, so that's going to be exciting. It's again, I think episodes are going to be better than Secret Origins. I will say, not knocking the episode, but the episode itself. But I think part 1 is probably the strongest.
I mean, as I said at the start, this was pretty much like the obligatory one that we had to get to, just because it's like the starting point.
Yeah, I will say this. I mean, I think it's extremely digestible. I'm saying if you're going to start your show, this is a good touchstone to start your show. It's a very solid pilot movie. The 3-parter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, take us out.
Luthor's last days numbered. A syndicate most foul. The Batman in peril. How operatic. Can the Justice League find Batman in time? Or will the Injustice Gang get the last laugh Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with Injustice for All.
Here, take a signal watch.